This will be my first vlog on the channel for the year, and I just wanted to have a little fun with it. So I thought I would do the Book Buds Rock On Rap Songs book tag. Nobody tagged me in, but I'm tagging myself in. I'm not promising to sing, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so the first song is from Annie and from Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. From standing on the corner popping, dropping some of the hardest. Okay, so the theme for this category is a book with an orphan or orphanage. Now, I couldn't see, the thing is, I wanted to do a Caribbean edition, so I'm going to choose all Caribbean books, which makes it a little harder. And I couldn't think of a Caribbean book off the top with an orphan or orphanage. But then I thought of Dido's Prize by BVI writer Eugene O'Neill, which has a character who is a pirate named El Negro. And I don't remember getting his backstory, like does he have family and so on. I hope I'm right about that. So, with no backstory, I'm going to say orphan. It's a historical romance, historical adventure romance, and El Negro was quite an intriguing character. So, Dido's Prize by Eugene O'Neill is my Hard Knock Life orphanage pick. In this Read Caribbean edition of the Rock On Rap Songs book tag. Next up, Walk This Way by Aerosmith with Run DMC, one of the early rock rap collaborations. And for this category, they want blends, genre blends. So I decided I'm going to go with a recentish read, uh, YA slash middle school, I guess, a young reader, book for younger readers, Nightmare Island by Shakira Bourne of Barbados, which is mystery meets fantasy meets horror. And the next one is, I can't sing this one. I know the song. Ha ha ha. That song by Eminem, Just Lose It. Um, and the category is for funny or ridiculous book in a bad way. I can't think of any in a bad way, funny or ridiculous books, but unusual books. Um, One that comes to mind is a book by Trinidadian writer Kevin Jarrett Hussein. I think his first book, Little Town Secrets, which had the unusual concept of um, like someone who sets up, like, like you have a lemonade stand. I think that's what, it's been a while since I read it, but like you have like a shop or a stand where you keep people's secrets, and the secrets are quite intriguing. Small town life, but unusual secrets. That's how I remember it. So I never knew what to expect. Um, but it was not in a bad way. It was a good book. Uh, Thunderstruck by ACDC. Maybe I know it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I do know who ACDC is, but I can't recall the song off the top. Um, and it's for category shocked in a good or bad way. I'm going to say Boxed and Spice by Unya Kempadu because I remember when I read it, it was, I mean, it's a coming of age story, and I was an adult when I read it. But it was quite more, I remember it being more salacious and um, sort of graphic and sort of boundary pushing than books I would have read in that genre. Unya is Guyanese. I mean, Unya is really Caribbean because she's lived in a few islands, but at the time she was identified when Box and Spice came on. Box and Spice is set in Guyana. Um, really rich novel, coming of age novel. There's an image in that book that just sticks in my head. Anyway, welcome to the jungle. Da-da, da-da-da, da-da. Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. Books about Ellie. Okay, so I couldn't think of any Caribbean books about Ellie. And this is a Caribbean themed response to the tag. So I'm going to interpret Ellie. We sometimes call Antigua Ellie, Little Antigua. So I'm going to use that. So I'm going to say a book set in my Ellie, which is Antigua. Um, and I'm going to use my own book, Musical Youth, teen YA novel, because it is, I think, I'm a music lover and I can say this, it is a music lover's delight. Um, and it's perfect for this tag. So, had to include it. Uh, Give Me All Your Loving by ZZ Top. Again, I know ZZ Top. I'm not sure if I know Give Me All Your Loving. Probably if I heard it, I know I'm losing cool points, but I don't know. I'm from the Caribbean. You have to give me a blind that. Um, Romance. So I'm going to use Colin Chandler's Waiting in Vain. Similar, this is when I was kind of starting to read like modern Caribbean novels back in like the 90s, I would say, and it's by a Jamaican writer, and it was just hot. I just remember not having read a Caribbean book like that before or come across a Caribbean character like Fire. Just fell in love with that character and just the idea that our stories could just be anything. They can be romance. I mean, already in this tag, I've done piracy, hauntings, macabre, just romance, coming of age. We have so much variety in Caribbean literature generally, in modern Caribbean literature certainly. And Waiting in Vain was one of those. The door is creaking, opening. I can see that in our literature. Because, our introduction to our literature is usually in school, and it gives us, it's like, you feel like you're eating healthy. And then you realize, oh, there's a buffet. You can have whatever you want, and it's a lot of interesting stuff to be had. So, yeah, Waiting in Vain was a tasty romance. Uh, you gotta fight for your right to party. Beastie Boys. So this is for a book that is built around a celebration or a celebratory event. And for us, there's no bigger celebration than at carnival time. And so I decided to include The Masquerade Dance, a children's picture book by Carol Mitchell, which is literally in dance, in the mass, in the celebration. A fun, picturesque um, musical book, a celebration. Firestarter by Prodigy, not even going to attempt it, but a book with fire in the title or orange or red cover. And I'm going to say Unburnable by Marilena John, who is an Antiguan writer. Carol Mitchell, by the way, is from St. Kitts Nevis. That's the previous one. Um, Unburnable had a kind of, it didn't have fire on the cover, but I mean, fire burns and Unburnable is in the title. So burn is in the title. And the cover is kind of on that spectrum of orange red. I give it a, yeah, I'll allow it. So Unburnable by Marilena John. Really rich. Um, it's a historical novel. It's a modern novel. It moves between time. It's like I said, it's rich. It's so layered and also just a really good read. Uh, the final song is "Humble" by Kendrick Lamar, the man of the moment. um, No, I'm not going to try to sing Humble either. I know the song. Um, a book that left me stunned. So I'm going to go with The Farming of Bones by Edwidge Danticat. Simply because I'd read Breath Eye's Memory before, but The Farming of Bones solidified her as one of my favorite writers of all time, Caribbean, non Caribbean, whatever. The most recent book of hers that I've read is A Dew Breaker, and again, she continues to stun because she is unflinching in her fiction, which is very much um, concerned with the Haitian experience. And in this particular case, a tragedy that I was not aware of, a violent tragedy on the border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic that I, at the time I read the book, was not aware of, um, and was stunned by that this level of violence had happened right here in the Caribbean. I mean, I know maybe that's a little bit naive because I know of all of other incidents. Obviously, we had hundreds of years, generations of slavery. We've had coups. We've had other things, but this one was one of those hidden stories for me, and so I was stunned by it, and I was mesmerized by the telling of it. So Edwidge Danticat, The Farming of Bones, is my humble, stunning story. And that's it. That's the Rock On Rap Songs book tag. Tag yourself, like I did.